those tears really there? Or is it just the shadow of the camera capturing the feelings Jungkook is trying to hide? That question now fills ARMY's timelines around the world after his cooking live turned into an emotional moment that no one expected. It all started with a smile, a little joke, and Jungkook's cheerful energy. No one would have thought that behind the light-sounding laughter, something much heavier was stored. He cuts vegetables, stirs sauces, and tells stories about little things, but at one point, his voice falters. Just a second, but enough to make everyone watching speechless. Jungkook stopped talking, lowered his head, then let out a long sigh as if trying to swallow something that wanted to come out. The camera caught his teary eyes, but he hurriedly smiled back, saying that everything was fine. But the ARMY knows. Jungkook was never good at hiding his heart. After the live ended, speculation flooded social media. How does Jungkook feel? What made him hold back tears? Is he tired? Is there something weighing him down? Everyone wondered, until one notification popped up and made the entire fandom freeze along. Taehyung left a comment, not a long comment, not a lot of words, but that's exactly what made it shake. If it's heavy, don't take it on yourself. Short, yet full of meaning. The comment felt like code, like a reminder from someone who knew Jungkook not just as a group mate, but as someone who understood the way he pretended to be strong. What makes this moment even more emotional is Jungkook's response. He didn't upload anything, didn't write any comments, but ARMY noticed one small detail. He liked Taehyung's post just 2 minutes after it was uploaded. Without words, without explanation, just a like feels much more conversational than a long paragraph. Now, fans are wondering, what happened after? Did they meet? Will Jungkook finally let himself stop pretending to be strong, even if only for one night? No cameras, no live broadcasts, just two people who have gone through so much together. Maybe we'll never know the details. But one thing is clear behind the glamorous world, busy schedules, and stage personas, they are still human beings who feel pain and need support. And that night, even without a word spoken to the public, Taehyung seemed to say, "I'm here." As if the world was holding its breath, the silence after that moment actually created an even greater wave of emotions. No official updates, no continued live, no clarification from the company. Everything was quiet, and in that silence, curiosity merges with worry and hope. Is Taehyung really coming? Did Jungkook finally let himself cry? Those questions hang so firmly in the minds of the fandom, until the next morning, one little thing breaks the silence. Jungkook shows up at Weverse. Not talking long, just apologizing because the live cooking looks not as cheerful as usual. He said he was just a little tired. Such a simple sentence, but ARMY knew the tone he chose was not the real answer, but rather protective, what makes the heart more shaken, not the content of the message, but the photo he uploaded. A bowl of warm ramen and 2 pairs of chopsticks. There was no face, no name. Yet everyone knew who was most likely sitting across from Jungkook at the time. Fans tried to hold back laughter and tears at once. Is it a coincidence? Or was Taehyung really there last night, accompanying in silence without a camera? Shortly after the post, Taehyung again made a surprise appearance. He posted a story that only contains a song with lyrics full of meaning. "You don't have to say anything. I'll understand you anyway." It's an old song, but not a bad one. A person pays attention to such lyrics only when he wants to convey something. Without the need for words, ARMY immediately noticed a pattern that had been repeating itself. When one of them fell in spirit or emotion, the other always appeared at the most opportune moment, sometimes jokingly, sometimes silently, sometimes with one simple phrase that felt like a touchless hug. Interestingly, whenever they supported each other like this, they never said it out loud. No confirmation. There is no publication, no imaging. Precisely the way they keep it a secret makes it feel even more sincere, even more real, and the longer it goes on, the more it becomes apparent that live cooking it may not be about food at all. Perhaps it was Jungkook's only way to find stillness amid the pressure. Maybe it's a safe space he's created to keep his hands busy so his heart doesn't collapse. The moment when he almost cried was not a moment of weakness, but rather a moment of courage. The courage to be almost honest. That night, Tens of millions of people watched Jungkook go strong. But maybe only one person really saw it through to the bottom. Jungkook suddenly looked much more cheerful in the next live. His smile returned, his laughter loosened, and he looked more relaxed, as if the weight that had been pressing on him before was slowly dissipating. There was no explanation, no recognition, but there was something different in his eyes. It was as if someone had reminded him that he was not alone, and while ARMY was still wondering what happened in that time gap, Taehyung appeared in a brief interview where he said, without context, "If we have someone who can listen, the world feels lighter." He smiled lightly afterwards, then changed the subject quickly. But the sensitive ears of fans immediately caught the vibration. Is that a coincidence? Or is Taehyung talking about someone in particular, someone who a few days ago almost cried in front of millions of people? Another little thing appeared at the next fan sign. A fan asked Jungkook, "When you're sad, what makes you strong again?" Jungkook chuckled, scratched his head, then replied, "I have people who always hold my hand even when I say I'm fine." That sentence left the whole room speechless. It does not mention names. It is not necessary. All the pieces are like a puzzle that complement each other, although they are never spoken directly. And the ARMY realized that maybe we were never meant to know the whole story. Maybe live cooking is not a stage play, but a small window that inadvertently reveals the most human thing in them. Interestingly, after all the hype, Jungkook and Taehyung's relationship seems more comfortable. They joke more freely, tease each other without being awkward, mention each other randomly in content, or live as if there is no distance. The small aura that used to feel odd slowly disappeared, and although many people are busy speculating, Jungkook himself remains as always, funny, energetic, mischievous, sensitive, but now with a new touch of maturity, as if he has allowed himself to look fragile without feeling weak for it. As for Taehyung, he was there, silent, calm, but clearly paying attention.